Okay, there we go. Go ahead, Big B.
All right, man.
Take it away, buddy.
All right. Good evening, everybody. See that'll teach him to come on his phone without getting me up started first. That'll mess with us all.
There you
Listen, let's
go. There
get
you
started.
go. There you
Let's
go.
get started with our numbers. We know what that's all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
As our quick facts, guys, as of about 13 minutes ago. Okay, our total confirmed cases 196,601,387. Total critical cases 86,496, and total deceased 4,202,076. Total active cases 19,839,653. I do my own drum roll over here, Dr. Paul. How about that? Total recovered, guys, 176,272,389. Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right,
that's
y'all.
what's
Y'all
up.
hear that?
That makes it what happened, you know. I'm going.
Yeah.
As a matter of
Yeah.
fact,
Absolutely.
guys, I'm going to put those numbers in the chat so that they're already there for you.
And remember, that's our numbers that we're looking at. Total recovered.
Right.
Coming through this COVID-19.
Right.
There's a lot going on in the news now.
Man, today it's all
And
over the place, Dr. Paul.
one of the big ones is you got to put that mask back on.
Yup.
We've been we've been talking about this for the longest, y'all. You never should have took the mask off. You got it. Nobody's talking about the fact that you are, about 2 weeks ago, which is around the time when stuff is actually, spreading. Everybody was taking off their mask for, the holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
4th of July. I said it right here. I said, don't take it off. If you're going to go out for 4th of July, put it off. And there were so many situations where people weren't even recognizing the mask. So here we are 2 weeks later, and this is where all the infections happening. Delta Plus was very real, but they weren't taking it serious because everybody wanted to be free. Everybody thought this thing was over. This thing was way not over. We saw what was happening in India. We paid attention to what was happening in Europe. And eventually you knew it was going to happen to us. So I want to go into some of those questions, concerns. If you have something of a question you want to put, just raise your hand, go down to your reactions, and you click on raise your hand, and then we'll try to get to you, okay?
Right. You make sure you put them in the chat. And
absolutely. Or if you have some chats, if you have some chats for Bill or Prophetess that they can actually see the questions, we'll try to get to those also. If we don't know the answer, we'll try to get it for you. All right.
There you go.
But this is the whole concept. I want to welcome everyone to the family tree. And this is the place where we get answers solved, right? And from a holistic perspective. Got it? So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you got your questions ready. Because y'all got a lot going on, man.
I'm looking at one right now.
Going on.
Yes, sir. How can scientists train immune cells, Dr. Paul?
Yeah, go ahead.
From Katrina, how can scientists train immune cells?
How can they train? How can they train immune cells?
Yes, sir.
That's what's called. That's what the RNA, mRNA is all about. It's actually training cells to do things. But hey, it's like little drones going on inside of you. Nanoparticles. Those are things that are actually, it's a different type of technology. That's what's happening right there. Gene, and that's actually altering your ability for your body to actually defend itself when now you put another sheriff in town. So now it's overriding your immune system to now start to make something that your body says, I really don't know what this is. So remember, we always say on this side, it's either friend or foe. There is no little guy that's going to sit in there and actually sort of navigate things for you. And I'll let you know when I see something. It's either going to be friend or foe. That means if there's something that's good for you, it's going to be beneficial, which is food. It's going to help the body regenerate. But if not, you got to go. So yes, that is some real scientific matrix, all that stuff wrapped up in one.
So what should we be looking for, Dr. Paul, when something like that comes afoot? What should we as consumers? What should we be looking for?
Meaning that what are we looking for?
Yes.
I don't mean. What do you mean?
Even in this particular case, you know, how would I even know what that would be? An immune cell that people are messing with. How would I know that?
Well, that's what the anything dealing with RNA.
Okay.
Ribonucleic acid. That's basically our RNA. That's the whole concept of this. Everything they're dealing with genome therapy. Genome research. That's what it's all about. It's altering what's already going on inside of you. It's overriding your system. That's the concept. It's basically man trying to say, I know you better than God does. You're rewriting your genes. Yeah. You know what it's like, y'all? Y'all still there? Are they still there?
Yeah, we here.
Yes.
Y'all listening?
This is serious stuff. That's why
we're listening.
This is serious stuff. That's why we want.
I feel like I'm talking to myself, baby. Y'all better respond. Get an amen.
We're just not interrupting you. You have a lot of information. We're not interrupting you.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you.
Our text we captured.
Now we have our pens and paper ready.
Pen and paper in hand. Hey, look,
but you see what's happening. This is like when they're rewriting things like seedless watermelon. Woo!
Yeah.
Well.
Oh man.
So my other part of that question is if your cells don't have brains, like how do you, I'm trying to understand how do they actually get the cell to react, to respond to this virus?
Well, it's called, that's what the protein spike indicators are.
Right.
Okay.
So it's trying to trigger your body to react. Remember, the immune system, the body is king. That's why we say, they still have to make sure they make the body or trick the body to do something. It's tricking the body to raise its immune system by creating these things called protein spike indicators.
Okay.
And those protein spike indicators, that's why they call them protein spikes. They got spikes on them. You got it?
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're saying that this is what defends, going after viruses and things like that. But they're now finding that the protein spike indicators are messing up the vessels or the vascular of the arteries and veins. And it destroys the lining. That's why one of the largest problems they have is people clotting up. Because normally when your bloodstream flows very smoothly, when you have protein spike indicators, now the inside lining of those vessels, which is called the endothelial. Endothelial is the vessels which push all the way through your arteries and veins. Now they become rough like sandpaper. And then when that happens, blood has a hard time getting through. Now it gets rough and rugged, start to clot up. So the genome therapy that they're doing has a lot to do with making the body do something that it normally would not do. We're not designed to make protein spike indicators. It's something that's based on how your ability for your body naturally builds protein spike indicators based on how your relationship is to the sun. Isn't that interesting? So that means that people that are in different climates in different regions of the planet make different protein spike indicators based on if you need it from where you come from. Wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if you're someone that lives closer to the equator, you don't need protein spike indicators, and we have low protein spike indicators because the melanin actually helps you synthesize light, which means your body already resonates at a certain level where it cleanses itself. But if you're living closer to the northern hemisphere, your body is protecting itself. The immune system is always threatened. So your protein spike indicators are usually going to be high. You got it? So with you now set a marker that everybody gets a certain protein spike indicators based off of this certain type of person, that's not going to fit everybody. And that's where we're having the problem. So it's going to mess up, it's starting to, mess up the way that the body works. So it's almost like a form of, gene manipulation. Yes, absolutely. Got it? Good question. Good
Thank
question.
you. Thank you.
Good question.
When you're someone, let me say something here. I just got a question sort of comes across my mind. With that being the case with this RNA and this gene manipulation, is it then possible to program that information that's in those genes to go after ethnicity? Is it
Whoa, y'all trying to get somebody in trouble.
Okay, I'll leave my face alone. I'm getting away from that one.
You can program it to do a whole lot of stuff.
Oh boy.
Like little,
I don't know where that came from.
Soldiers or little drones. Yeah, you can proteins.
Mm-hmm.
They're programming. They even says in one of the breakdowns of what they are, it actually says this is a injectable operating system. Wow.
See, I should have stayed asleep, but that hit me in my head, man.
That's some real deep stuff. Injectable operating system. That's what it says.
So, oh my.
So when you're
talking
about what this really is, you got to start realizing that your blood is the most precious part of who you are that makes you who you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have that just like a fingerprint. No one on the planet is like you. And your blood is the most precious part of you.
Mm.
And if you poison the blood, you defile the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? So that's why you want to keep the blood clean at all times. The Bible is very clear on cleaning the blood and that the life is in the blood. You've heard that expression, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with that being the case, you got to keep the blood clean because all the blood flows through every organ every 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
So if you now are experiencing or now dealing with having issues with clotting, there's a rise in what's called myocarditis, which is inflammation in the heart in young people.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Guillain-Barré, which is another one. There's autonomic issues are going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Autonomic issues are when your nervous system is disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes back to family understanding that, I really don't like to get into, too much of the rabbit hole of conspiracies and things like that, because I'm not really interested in what, evil and things like that are doing. Whatever's going on in the conspiracies and the fighting and bickering, all I want to do is keep my eyes on Daddy. You got me?
I got that. Amen.
Keep your eyes on Daddy and understand that anything that tries to becomes a threat to your immune system to try to make it do something, it's got to be a poison.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can just stay on that factor and understand that it's a poison, then you know that poison has never been able to do you any good, and it will never ever do you good. Only life begets life. You got to remember that. Stand on that. God said, put me first. Didn't he say, put me first? Put me first. He put me first. So when you feel, when you look at TV and you see the anxiety of what people are doing, and they say, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that, and that is it's the ones that didn't get it that's the problem. Now, all of a sudden, the breakthrough cases right now are going crazy. They're skyrocketing. I think yesterday they announced 153,000 breakthrough, and breakthrough means that what? That means those who had the vaccine now are, either have it and now are spreading it. So now that's why they're saying those who have had it, the vaccine, you have to now wear a mask also. So there's no exception. You're no exception to nobody else. Got it? The blood. Keep the blood clean, y'all. That's the key. That's why I came up with the last list on, if you have not seen this, go to www.drpaulherbs.com, download that list. All the 75 plus blood cleansers, those are the ones you want. Got it? Keep that on your heart. Keep that on your mind. Spread that. And here's the thing. Whatever we say, all you got to do is just what? Pick one.
Pick
Pick
one.
one. Yes,
That's all you
yes,
got
yes.
to do. Pick one. Just pick one. You got it? You don't have to do a whole lot. All these herbs have been around for, they've been around for billions of years, and they know how to adapt. So that's why they're adapting to the atmosphere, the rains, all of the humidity, everything that they do, they adapt to the times, the nitrogen in the air, all the things that we have to do. The body is already these herbs are already working for it. So when you now take the herbs, they can now adapt to you. You got it? Help you. All right. So we got some more questions there. We got anybody with the hands raised? We got 6 hands with their hands raised. And I'm just going to go down to see who I have. Is that Saritha Gates?
Yes, sir. Sarita.
How you doing,
Hi,
Saritha?
how are you?
Doing well.
I am well by God's grace. I'm kind of new at this. Off and on, I have another meeting going on. I skip out of it to get bits and pieces of what you're doing. I've been trying for the last couple of years. I've been working on the alkaline, organic way of eating. I was going through one detox and herbal detox, and I contracted the coronavirus. Meanwhile, it started off with pneumonia. So the way it was put to me was that because I was going through that cleansing and that transitioning, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I try to go as long as I can without the oxygen, but I have to put my oxygen back on.
That's
this
all
is
right.
one of the things that Corona left behind as well. Excuse me. So if I can get
Take your
some
time. Take
pointers
your time.
after coming, that transition of detox for the inflammation, as well as the lungs having been inflamed and coming off of the prednisone.
Oh.
I don't want to try to mix too many like herbs, have herbs and chemicals. So am I doing it wrong by trying to get back onto the herbs to repair my lungs? And what suggestions do you have?
What I would suggest, number one, would be an assessment before you do anything, because you're taking pharmaceutical meds. You got to remember,
well, I'm off the prednisone.
You're off of it, right?
For about a month now.
Okay. Are you taking any other pharmaceutical drugs?
You know what? I am. I just thought about it. Eliquis, because of the blood clotting from last month.
Right. See, that's the whole point. See, remember what's in your lungs. Remember, anything that your body's trying to get rid of is going to happen in the lungs. So that's the quickest way the body is trying to get it out of the system. Got it? It's trying to get it out. That's why when the bronchial tubes get inflamed, they swell. They swell like this. They look like bulbs. They swell. When they swell, that's the inflammation that's happening. That's why people take the, Buterol and things like that to bring down the swelling, so that now they can absorb the oxygen again. Because normally they just basically pulsate to actually bring the oxygen into the bloodstream. Got it? But what happens is, if you're detoxing, you're pushing that stuff out of you, they can get blocked or inflammation happens. It really comes back to, again, blood. We've been saying that a lot here on the family tree. You got to clean the blood with regular, first an assessment. I would say an assessment. You would have first, you got to get your water right. Okay. You got to get your water. What kind of water are you drinking?
Fiji, crystal gyre sometimes, but Fiji has been the easiest to get my hand on. I try to sip on that during the day. Working on getting to a gallon because I'm over 200 pounds.
Right. So Fiji is good. The higher of the pH would be the crystal geyser. When you start to do this, you're going to have to, make sure your pH is on point. There are herbs that are for specifically the lungs. and regenerating the bronchial tubes. Okay.
Mhm. All right.
Okay. Usually what we start with, I can give you a couple, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease. There's food for the soul, family. One that comes immediately to mind that's very good is mullein. Mullein. Mullein.
All right.
Okay, mullein is good because mullein is used anytime the body is trying um, to pull that mucus off of the lungs, but
Mm-hmm.
also regenerate those bronchial tubes to bring down the infection.
All right. And that will stop the lungs from closing in that I can't hardly breathe in my
Yep,
esophagus. It just feels like I just can't talk like you started me just a few minutes ago. So it
yep,
does start with the bronchial that feeds to the lungs, that feeds to, oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
yep. So that means if you start to now go back to getting uh, herbs that are specifically for the lungs. I'm gonna give you a few more. Another one's called horehound. Horehound. Got it? Horehound.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one called yerba. Yerba.
All right.
Okay. And I'm just giving you these because this is something that you can, it only takes one. Only takes one. Matter of fact, there's a
Mm-hmm.
syrup that we use that you must get called the Old Indian Wild Cherry Bark Syrup.
Oh,
Okay. Old
and
Indian Wild Cherry Bark Syrup.
well, cherry or
Bark syrup. Yep.
all right. Mm-hmm.
That one right there will get the lungs in shape right there because it's pulling off mucus, but it's also breathing life back into the lungs. Okay.
Wow. Awesome.
Nettle. Another one is nettle. Nettle. Nettle.
I had some of that during my detox, as well as blessed thistle and some of
Blessed
them.
thistle is good. Blessed thistle is more for like it can be good for that also. It's like that can be something like you can use that for also endocrine system things like you can use that for a balanced core, anything dealing with hormones. That's what blessed thistle comes from. That was the woman's herb, along with red raspberry. A lot of women used to have that. That's why they called it the blessed thistle. The blessed
It'll get rid of the hot flashes.
Yep, hot
Oh,
flashes,
hot
rhythm,
flashes.
balancing, progesterone, testosterone, estrogen. Yep, that was the balancer. Yep, that's correct. So that's
Beautiful.
why they call it the blessed thistle.
That truly would be a blessing. Lord
It said,
knows.
bless that thistle.
Well, that's
Lord,
awesome. And
Lord, bless that thistle.
that's
So,
help, Lord. And I
so
think nettle comes in
I
a
would
tea
say some
form,
things
right?
that, yeah, I'm sorry. I would say some of the things that you need. You definitely need an assessment, number one, to see where are you right now.
Yes.
Where are your numbers? You got to get your pH right. Your pH has got to be spot on. That means that when you're testing yourself, you got to know what your numbers are. How often are you keeping that number above 6.5 on the pH? Okay, you got to get that oxygen because remember, acid is the key. There's only really one problem. That's acidosis, which causes inflammation. So what do? We counter that male-female principle, acid being male. We counter it with the female principle, which would be alkaline. So that means alkaline-based diet, alkaline water, things like that. Don't go for the alkaline waters that have been what we call, they actually call them reverse osmosis. Those are the ones that have been altered, and they distill them, and then they put back in the minerals, but they're refined white salt. Got it? So don't mess with those. Nothing that says reverse osmosis. Stay away from that one.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, family. All right. Thank you so much. Good question, Sarita. And welcome through. All right. Welcome through. Glad to have you.
sir.
Glad to have you,
Thank you.
Sarita. Keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Yeah, good
Thank you,
question.
thank you.
See, that's how you jump in the room right there, Big B. You
Yes,
come
sir.
in the room with a heavy question.
That's right. You make everybody just get up and say, "What? I know they didn't say that."
Shake up the room. I'm gonna shake them up. Shake them up. That's right.
All
Sarita, you
right.
just helped out a lot of people right there.
That's
You
right.
helped out a lot
Oh,
of
well,
people.
I'm glad. Thank
Yes.
the Lord, because you all help me out tremendous. I'm always a true servant of God. So thank
Yes,
you.
that's right. Keep your eyes on daddy. That's right. That's the word for 21. Keep your eyes on daddy. Don't
I
take
know
your
that's
eyes
right.
off. Right? All right. All right. See, Big B, you got anybody over there?
Yeah. What do you take for vertigo, Dr. Paul?
Huh?
What do you take for vertigo?
It depends on what is vertigo. All right,
Uh-oh.
I think I'm getting on here. Hold
That's
on.
my question.
All right, hold on. I think I
gotta
finally
mute.
got on, and I think I just jumped in. Hold on. Yes, I am in, and I am about to log on.
All right. All right. I love it.
Finally got on.
Boy.
All right, finally
See,
got on.
you just do what you got to do till it happens.
Hold up.
So my name is Charlotte Brown, and
Okay,
I asked
Charlotte.
you a question.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Charlotte. Are you driving?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So for the last, first of all, let me say I'm so excited to be here. I threw everything out of my refrigerator that was dead weight. I just spent almost $200-300 on every healthy food or herb that's been mentioned in the last 2 Wednesdays. So I'm excited.
Great.
Okay. All right, hold on for a second.
We're trying to get him switched over to his computer away from his phone. And guys, listen, while he's in the process of trying to do that, make sure that you mute yourself.
I have been, like,
Okay.
during the pandemic, I'm a teacher. So during the pandemic, I wasn't working, and I just started back working. And ever since that I have been working, I've had those pains that you were talking about. But I was laying down a lot. I was laying down a lot during the pandemic. So now I'm doing, when you're working with babies, you got to do extra movement,
Right.
extra things. So yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm giving you a checklist, because it can be one of many things. So we got the one, which was cervical, right?
Right.
2 could be crystals. And
Right.
there is a method that you can, I may be able to find the method for clearing those crystals out of your ear. It's a matter of holding your head in a certain position for a while. And you can even tell when you have an imbalance with the crystals. So if you're like, you know how you lay on the edge of the bed and
Yes.
it's like you lay back and you take your head off the edge of the bed.
Yes.
Hold your head back. And if your eyes start shifting like that, like shaking.
Yes.
That's the sign of crystals.
Oh, I'm gonna try that.
Yep, that's what it is. So what you would do, there is, let me see if I can find it before we leave, okay? I want to find something on YouTube. It shows you how to clear the crystals so it gets it out of the trap part of the crystal and brings it back in. Got it? And
okay, so I'll be waiting.
Maybe I can do that before we get out of here. I'll pull it off of YouTube and I'll share that. But that has a lot to do with a lot of people's issues when they have vertigo. Now, that was 2. Third one, ear infections. Got it? Ear infections.
Ear infection. Okay.
Ear infections. Yep. Water in the ear can get in there. Get trapped.
Make sure you mute yourself, guys.
Make sure you mute, y'all. Water can get trapped in there, and then you can get an ear infection. Got it? That can happen. That can very much happen. And that's when you got trapped air in there, and sometimes you get a whooshing sound.
Yes. Sometimes I hear that, or when I hear music or somebody talk like with a baritone, like my ears start, I don't know, it's weird. I never felt it before. So
yep, that could be a slight infection in the ear. Now you can also, believe it or not, you can get infections in the nerves.
Mm.
A lot of people don't know that. You can get an infection in your nerves.
Wow.
There's in there, and then it actually causes it, and it can last a long time.
What?
A lot of people don't realize that it can stay in your nervous system a long time. An infection can stay in your nervous system. And
Wow.
so with that, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, family.
Amen. Amen.
Golden seal root.
Wow.
Golden seal.
And so I bought it. I was saying that before we cut off. I bought that the other day, but with your green mix and turmeric and all the other stuff. So I'm on the right track, I believe.
Yeah, you got it. So what you would do is, remember, you cannot take it for long periods of time. Got it? So you got to do it. It's 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks back on, and then you quit it for a whole month.
Okay.
Right? So that's 2, 1, 2, and then you quit it for a whole month.
Okay. Well, so yeah. So on a better note, I just wanted to give a testimony to my health family, to Dr. Paul and everybody here. A year ago, my husband was diagnosed with diabetes, and I thought I was going to lose him. I had a feeling that's what it was because, growing up, they tell you that most Black people get diabetes. So I saw like all the signs, and how most men don't want to go to the doctor. Well, he was one of those people. So I prayed and I left it into God's hand. I looked up to Daddy, and I gave it to him. And one day my husband was like, I'm not feeling well. And we went to the doctor. He had like a blood sugar of 289.
Wow.
Prior to that, he was 500 pounds years ago. So he had came down half his weight size. And I was glad for that, but it was the sugar that was in his blood. And so anyway, I listened to you and everybody else, prophetess, everybody here for a few months. And I jotted down everything. I heard people talking about diabetes and I went and got it. So he takes cinnamon, chromium, he's taking turmeric, he's taking the Genema.
Genema.
He's taking all. So most of the things that I heard you recommend, he's taking. So now we are coming up on a year, and every day for about 4 months, his blood sugar has been at 125, 130.
Praise God.
Wow.
So I
Praise
want
God.
to give you
Amen.
that testimony.
Let's get
And
everybody.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, praise God.
Praise God.
So he's lost more weight. He's looking good. People cannot believe it. He said I'm feeding him like a rabbit, but a lot of people are crediting. He's older than me. He's in his 50s. So I said, well, honey, you're not going down my watch. We're going to live. I said, you got all these dreams and these aspirations.
I heard
and I'm
that.
like, well, how we going to fulfill these dreams and aspirations if our health is not good? So by me doing it for him, it's helping me now.
All right.
So I just wanted to get that testimony. So thank y'all so much for everything.
All right. That's what's up. Glad to hear that. Thank you, Charlotte, for that testimony. That's what's up. See?
That's an awesome testimony. I mean, you can't get no better than that. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you fine. We're hearing you fine.
Yo, that is awesome. There's nothing better than a testimony. So Charlotte, God bless you. May God continue to keep you on that path.
Yeah, and everybody's like, Charlotte, you always saying Dr. Paul this, Dr. Paul that, Dr. Paul. But I posted on Facebook, I share it with my friends, and I feel like that's all I have to offer to them. I don't have monetary value. I got the word in me to offer, but that's all I have to offer you is the holistic health. That's it.
You know what? You're spreading life itself.
Yes.
Everybody in here has the ability now. When you give this information, this is what was not taught to us in school.
Right. Amen.
This is what was hidden from us and taken from us. Just follow what they tell you to do, and take medicines and all that. Nothing about how do I take care of myself.
Well, I know that's right.
So now when you get this information, and it starts working, that's the greatest testimony of all. And nobody can tell you nothing now.
I know that's right.
Amen.
You got proof. Every morning you wake up, you say, hey, honey, how you doing? How you doing?
I heard that.
Proof right there.
Yes.
No matter what nobody says.
The blessed part about it, now he asks for it. And that's the blessed part about it. Where's my greens? Where's my kale? Where's my smoothie?
See that?
Yeah, he wants it.
You know? Because life begets life.
Yes.
That, guys. Whenever you have life, it gives you life. And that's where, this thing was developed. You're going with what God created this thing to do. We walk with the body. That's what we say nature's path or nature's way. That's where naturopathy comes from, nature's way. So we're just feeding the body and allowing the body to correct itself. 11 times faster, y'all. That's the shot right there. We applaud you. That was awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Testimonies like that go a long way.
Yes, more than anything.
Yeah.
Folk, it's also about sharing and looking out for the family. You got to understand, you know what? There are a lot of folk can run their mouth, but not everybody will walk the walk.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm talking about?
Right.
Sometimes the only sermon that someone will see will be the one that you walk and live in your two shoes every day.
Right on, right there, Brett, Big B. That's right. I couldn't, that's absolutely, God said that my children are peculiar people.
Yes.
They're peculiar. That means we thinking about something. You know what? I'm gonna try that herb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? When somebody say something, they ain't even gotta tell you it's right. You say, I know that's right.
Well,
that's right. That's agreeing with my spirit.
They can see it in you.
You see it.
They can see it in you.
So that's why, apply the principle, help the body do what it's already doing, and it will reward you because you're operating in God's laws and his principles and his statutes. Got it? All right, Big B, that was a good one.
Yes, sir.
Hello, doctor. Doctor, I got a question.
Go ahead, Anthony.
How are you? Thank you, Bruce. Bill. Listen, Doc, this is Anthony Tooks, Philadelphia. I wanted to talk to you about something I spoke to you about the other day, laying on the floor, to adjust your spine.
Yeah.
How often should you do that?
I would say for each individual is based on how often they're having a problem. I think that if you're just laying on the back, just on a regular, like once in the night, it only takes about 30 minutes. Laying on your back. It helps to keep your spine straight. And also if you're having curvature of the spine on the cervical, because when people bending over like this all the time, or you're on your phone, or you're driving, all those things that you're moving forward, you want to be able to, raise your head back. You got to get your spine straight. So when you lay flat on the floor, you get those muscles to finally relax. The problem is the muscles. They're so tense that they can pull the spine right out of place. So you need to stretch them. So I always recommend a Himalayan salt bath or a heating pad first. Always heat before adjustment. So if you do that, heat or some kind of Himalayan salt bath, and then when you come out, lay flat on the floor.
Lay flat for about a half an hour.
For about a half hour. Turn your music on, your favorite music, and just lay on the floor. And if you got problems getting on the floor, just get on the floor, tell somebody to come back in a few minutes and get me up.
Should you do that every day or once or twice a week? How often?
Yeah, that's what I said. There is no limit to it. It's based on each individual. So you can't have a magic bullet for everybody. It's just how often as you need it. Yeah. And
all right,
believe it or not, those people who have headaches, if you have headaches, laying flat on the floor to get adjustment, that can help you out tremendously. That means with the back of your hand laying flat on the floor like this, and you just laying flat like that.
All right. Thank you very much, Doc.
Also, man, you asked me a question, man. While I got you there, Anthony.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You asked me about the frequency club, right?
Yes, I'm very interested in that.
Okay, I'm going to give y'all a number. I'm glad you mentioned that for the family. I never mentioned this to you all, but there is a technology. And this technology is part of what I was using for my wife to help her get well. And this is called frequency technology. Got it? So what is it? It's based off of a guy that came up with the concept called the RIF, RIF, or some called it the RIF technology. So what does that mean? That means that it literally says we're going to match the frequency of all disease, and we're going to match a frequency. And when you match the frequency, you balance the frequency out, it starts to now rid the body of all toxins and pollutants in the body.
Mm.
So what you would do is with the Rift or the Rife machine, you would lay down or you would sit in a room and there would be something in the front of you and something in the back of you. And basically it's frequency technology that would be rolling through your body. And let me tell you, when I used to go in there, it was amazing because this thing used to clear my sinuses. It would feel like, you know, I felt lighter. Everything about it would be alkalizing the body in some way because it was doing it's like an ion therapy using waves. So I got a brother, I'm gonna put him on blast since I'm here. And I would say, give him a call if you would like to experience this, and give him a call and see if it would be something you would be interested in doing. Let me see.
While you're looking for that, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
you think it will have something to do with our biorhythms and how we are electronically?
Well, that's the whole point. We are all bioelectrical beings.
Yes, my point. Yes.
And with that being, you know, a lot of when we're out of balance or out of rhythm, it's like being out of tune. Like if you're a piano, like a piano's out of tune, ain't nothing worse than a piano that sound bad. I don't care how good you can play, but when that piano is out of tune, you're gonna sound a hot mess. So what happens is, you got to get your body in tune the same way. You know, the first piano is actually the spine.
Yes.
Did you know that? That first piano is actually your spine. And that that's what we go up. If you can take something that just to ping up your spine, it would go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right there. Right up your spine. So with that, you can be tuned back into frequency. And sometimes people are out of tune. So there's this club that's called the Frequency Club. And it's Brother Suleiman and also Brother El Hadan. They're doing this. So if you want this, let me give you the number. They're called the Frequency Club. And it's 267 969 8769. They did move recently, so I believe they're back up and running. So if you're interested in finding more information about it, give them a call, and they can tell you all about the therapy that they do. It's a wave therapy. It's called wave therapy.
How does that work? How does that work with the pinched nerve?
Well, pinched nerve is something totally different. That's a structural issue. Got it? You got to clean that. You got to correct that pinched nerve. Nothing's going to take that off of there, that bone. That's a misalignment. Got it? That's something like a bone that needs to be adjusted. So that needs an adjustment. So you would need a chiropractor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Billman, man. Appreciate you.
Go ahead. Come on. Hello. Come on.
Neither.
Let me see who else I have here.
Come on.
I'm going to have my list here.
Come on.
I have, is that Nita up there?
Yes.
Yes, it is. I bring greetings from still sunny Florida.
All right. Glad to have you. Glad to have you, Nita.
There you go.
Listen, I have a question for you.
Mute yourself.
Guys, mute yourselves. Go ahead,
Hello,
Nita.
I have a question for you. First of all, about the Gymneva. I bought the powder, for the diabetes, because I am diabetic, and it didn't give instructions of how to take it. Because I try to buy stuff that's more powder, because I do take isotonic vitamins and other things. And the first time I took it, I said, well, I don't know how to take this. Let me put it in some grape juice. But it didn't agree with me too well. So I still have it. I said, I'll wait and ask you, can I put it in your drink? or should I get another method of taking it, pill or something?
Sure. My first question would be what kind of specific gymnema is it? You said powder?
Yes, the powder form.
Now, there's no complex, right? No complex. It's not mixed with something else.
No.
Okay,
It's
so
just
a raw gymnema, right?
raw gymneva, yes.
See, the whole thing about gymnema, when you buy any herb in powder form, you got to be careful because now you got to know how much to take. And that means it's no longer objective, it's subjective.
Right.
How much I scoop up, how big is the scoop, how much am I, dipping in, is it pressed down? So
Right.
you got to be careful. I always recommend the capsules first.
Okay.
Know exactly how much is in each of the actual capsules itself.
Right.
Milligrams, 600. Now, gymnema is specifically for diabetes. That's for sugar control.
Right.
There's also what's called gymnemic acid, which curbs appetite. So sometimes it may give you a feeling. What was the feeling that you said it didn't make you feel well?
Well, I was okay. Then all of a sudden, the cramping, and then I brought everything up.
Ah.
So I haven't taken it. I put it aside, and I hadn't taken it. I said I'll wait until I find out.
Something very interesting. Now, remember,
Yeah.
herbs do a job. Their job is to go into bind to toxicity issues that are like virus, bacteria, and all that. So when you upchuck that, when you started to throw
Yes.
it up, it actually did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Oh my goodness.
So that means it became a purge for you.
Oh yes.
The toxins that had to come out. So something had to come out, and it came out the right way.
Oh, okay.
It come out. That's what it does. So a lot of people misinterpret because we've been told and taught that throwing up is a bad thing. Throwing up is not a bad thing.
I know. You're getting rid of something that shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as a matter of fact,
I know that's right.
feel good afterwards. Every time you throw up, what's the first thing you do?
Oh yeah, I sure did.
Thank you,
Now,
Lord.
my other statement, Dr. Paul, you said something initially in the beginning, going back when you were talking about the vaccine and how it messes with your arteries and veins and with people having clotting factors. Now, my husband had COVID last year, and then we came back to Florida, back home here, and then he got the vaccine, and I'm not saying the vaccine caused it. Then all hell broke loose in June. He became septic, cellulitis. He is a diabetic. This great toe opened up. Then he developed pulmonary edema and acute congestive heart failure, which he's never had any respiratory or heart problems. So what I decided, what I'm doing now, I'm giving him L-arginine, because when you mentioned about how it messes with your artery and vein, I said, we need to have nitric oxide, and it may be depleting that. So I started him on the L-arginine, and I'm gonna tell you, things are getting better. His skin was becoming discolored. I thought maybe he was taking a Michael Jackson pill or something. I said, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
But in the T-zone, he was becoming whitish color. But now the skin color is coming back. His numbers are better. His blood pressures are better. His blood sugars are dropping. Where I said, we may need to alter insulin here now.
Right. But you're saying everything that points right back to blood.
Yes.
You talk about skin. Remember, skin.
Yes.
Liver,
yes.
The skin. Usually, when you start to see them turn real dark. You ever see anybody? They start turning dark. You say, "Wow, you sick."
Yeah.
The liver. That's the liver every time.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
So when you said that it could have been, well, maybe if anything attacks the blood, you attack the body because all the blood flows through every organ every 20 minutes. So that means
Yes.
you got susceptible to all kinds of things. So,
And he was sepsis because he had an infection in the blood, and then he was on all these antibiotics.
yeah, the key word there, you said infection in the blood.
Infection. That's right.
Got it. See, that's why we go back to, folks, if you got anything going on with you, the old concept goes back down south for, I mean, long time. I remember this long time. They used to say, always clean your blood first.
Clean the blood.
There first. If you don't know what's going on, start with the blood first.
Yeah, our parents used to give me Father John. Used to give us Father John. Oh my God.
Yep.
And castor oil.
Castor oil. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
Everybody remembers something. And it all goes back to cleaning the blood. When you see somebody's skin and you see somebody with real clean, clear skin, good liver. That's what I mean. And that also purges that stuff out of you. So if you want to get rid of some bumps, blisters, boils, anything, that's the body trying to get rid of something.
Right.
Clean the liver. That's what you do.
Good. Good. And you know, when you mentioned about, and I know this, and people say, oh, I'm vomiting. I said, but see, your body is trying to get rid of something that's not there. And when we were children, in which we know better now, because my brother and sister were all in the health profession. If my mother heard us cough, who's that coughing in there? Oh, she want to get the cough syrup. Oh my gosh. But now when people are coughing, I said, don't you know that you're coughing because there's something there that your body is trying to get rid of. So coughing is not always a bad thing.
That's
you know, and in the sneezing, it's something there that it's trying to, you need to expectorate and get rid of it.
Right. That's why when people have allergic reactions to things, it's purging. It's always getting rid of something. Whether it's coughing, sneezing, sometimes the eyes water, you know, the nose runs, something is purging. It's trying to get it out. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So thank you, Nitha. You have been a blessing always. All right.
Well, you're a blessing to all of us because I go to school every Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday.
Well, we're glad to have you. That's what it's all about.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
so
indeed.
much. Keep the blood clean, y'all. That's it. All right. All right. And Big B, what you got over there? Anybody in the chat room that you and Prophetess got over there?
That was one. Let me see here.
There was a new person on.
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
And also, family, if you are someone that's maybe by phone and we cannot see you, if you just let us know that you're there and we'll try to get your question also. All right. All right. All right. Let me go to the top here. I got, who is that? Is that Dolly and Cynthia?
I know they're there.
They're there. I see them.
Yeah. How are you, Doc and Bill?
Just fine.
That's it. Doc, can you elaborate on the this vaccine? Because we started back at church and everybody, even the ones that were vaccinated, they're not wearing a mask and some are wearing a mask and it's just a whole bunch. And then, you know, the news media, I listen to every morning, you know, 3.1, the news. So can you elaborate on that? I know you said about the blood cleansing and then about immune system, but they're not mentioning the immune system. I guess the docs, God bless them.
Well, are you in Pennsylvania or Jersey?
Jersey.
You're in Jersey?
I'm in Jersey.
In
Yes.
Pennsylvania, we went back to the mandate of even if you're vaccinated, you have to indoors have a mask. You know, we're back on this. Now, of course, several states are now implementing this because of the move of the Delta variant is moving. It's about 83 to almost 90% now of all cases. So we're in a trouble spot right now. And we talked about this, you know, we've never gotten off of this pedal. We've been on the throttle the whole time telling people that you got to start to keep your mask on because you don't know how far this thing is going. And now they're saying that those that have had the vaccine, you now have to get a booster. So what does that mean? Wait a minute. That means it really wasn't working the first time? I don't know. So now you got to get a booster. So now it's a lot of back and forth right now. I know in Pennsylvania also now they're saying that when school starts, teachers
The kids.
have to have them. So if trends may move as they do, if you're not already on there, you will be there very shortly. Got it. I don't know what Jersey. I haven't looked into.
Jersey hasn't mandated. Jersey is just saying if you're in a congregation or you're in, like they have the ball games and all that stuff. If you're in such a environment of that you should wear your mask, whether you're vaccinated or not. You should wear your mask. Okay. But it's not mandated in Jersey yet. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I think that you definitely should keep it on. We've never gotten off of that here. That's what they're saying and promoting, because people were feeling that this thing was over and they felt that they were out of the way and that they could freely now take the mask off. Remember 4th of July, y'all? I was people take the mask off right now. No one having games. We had 50,000, baseball games and the Indy 500. We had all this stuff going on. And everybody was just taking it off, almost like a celebration of freedom. You remember? The UK even had a day called Freedom Day.
Yeah, that's true.
They had Freedom Day. They said freedom from the mask day. Yeah, you got it on now. You got it back on now. So
remember, Doctor, when you mentioned about, everything that's needed, God put it in you. Whatever's needed or whatever, is in you. But different ones are saying that with these vaccines, whether it's Pfizer or whatever, you can look online and that, see what's in it, but you're not sure. I mean, they say, so they said, but you don't
they really have, you can see what they're, we have a problem. And the problem is that, alternative media sources are really, people share, number one. And that's the problem that they're having in spreading their information, is that they're showing just one side of it. And then you have alternative media sources saying there's a problem here. So that's where you're having the divide of philosophies and understanding, because people are saying that, yeah, this is what's happening. But on the alternative media sources, people are saying, no, that's not what's happening. Our rates are more serious than you think. So it's all the media sources that you're looking at.
And you also, Dr. you also got to make sure the area where you are, because there are certain breakouts in some areas that are more serious than others. So guys, you got to remember where you are geographically as to how, listen, don't trust anybody but yourself. Put your mask on.
Yeah, and then also what you can look for, if you want to make sure, look at those numbers, you get you Google what's called breakthrough numbers.
Yes.
Breakthrough numbers. Got it? Breakthrough numbers means that those are those that have had the vaccine, those that now are contracting. And then they also came out and said yesterday also that those that have had the vaccine, you now have the ability to spread.
Yes.
So where does this leave everything? Back to zero.
Yes.
So so you got to be very careful, family. The only thing you can bank on is you and your immune system.
Yes, sir.
They don't want to, because it points back to God every time. They don't want to adjust to that factor, but that's the only thing you can bank off of. You got it? That you have the ability to correct your system, protect yourself. God has given you everything you ever need. You never have to search outside of yourself. Build your immune system, and the body will protect you. And that's
right. But, all right. Thank you so much, Doc. And you haven't changed your mind about getting vaccinated, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Doc.
So,
okay.
Remember always this, Dolly. This is Dolly or Cynthia?
This is Cynthia. This is Cynthia. I'm Cynthia.
You always remember, if y'all can remember this one thing, remember, anything that's a threat to your immune system, it's got to be a poison.
I know. I know.
Can't
I
be
know.
that's going to be good. Body only recognizes food.
Right.
Got it?
Exactly. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, family. Thank you.
Oh, okay, Dr. Hall, I found that earlier question for that person who wanted to know if you have any recommendation to help lower blood sugar.
Blood sugar, you won't get over that. That's what that would be. Remember, lowering blood sugar has a lot to do with number one, watching refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils. Concentration is your problem. Stay away from concentrated food. What is that? Things that have no moisture on it. If you now have taken all the moisture off of something, you dehydrated it, and the body now has to look for water. So that in turn shuts down the pancreas, because the pancreas says, I cannot deal with concentration. So it stops making two vital nutrients, chromium and magnesium. Got it? Chromium and magnesium. So what you can do is those herbs that have high chromium, high magnesium tend to be the ones that we mentioned earlier. Not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent diseases, food for the soul. That would be the gymnema. Got it? The gymnema. Okay. Also,
I'm sorry, spell that for me because I couldn't find it, please.
Yeah, GYM as in Mary, N as in Nancy, EMA. Right. Its full name is Gymnema sylvestre. That's the name. Got it? But it's very high in those two, magnesium, chromium, and also vanadium also. Vanadium is another one. So those are the things that now crank up the pancreas to start making insulin again. And remember, you have these chambers, like sort of like chambers inside of your pancreas. They're called aisles of Langerhans. I know that's a mouthful. Aisles of Langerhans. And what that means is that they're like little aisles that are inside of your pancreas, and they go dark.
Doc, can you mute everybody for us, please?
Yeah, who is that? Somebody else?
Yeah.
Mute yourself. All right. Got you. I got him. Okay. So remember, aisles of Langerhans are like little aisle areas. Matter of fact, when they go bad, it looks like somebody was smoking in your pancreas. That's what it looks like. They sort of go dark. And then what you do is when you take the magnesium, the chromium, the vanadium, it's sort of like a spark, fires it off again, starts to now regenerate it. So that's when you start to make insulin. Now you get the turnkey of the cell. Now what happens is that when you have that insulin opens up the walls of the cell, allows the glucose, which is your energy, to get into the cell. Got it? So when you have concentrated foods, you stop the ability for the pancreas to now make that insulin. That's because you depleted your magnesium, your chromium, and your vanadium. Got it? That's what happened. Also, the family of the bilberry family is good. Bilberry, bayberry, huckleberry, which is wild blueberries.
Okay.
Those are also good too. Any of those in that bilberry family, that berry family. Elderberry, that's another one. Those are all good. They're also very good for the eyes at the same time. All right?
Okay.
Okay, good question. All right, who we have up there? We got Margaret.
Hi, Dr. Paul. Thanks for taking my question. I have a question, but my sister's on the phone and I believe she has a question. She'll need to unmute herself.
Okay, who's your sister?
Estelle. Estelle, can you unmute yourself?
Estelle, you there? Okay, I don't see Estelle. I'm looking for a phone.
Yeah, her phone is ending 0746. Can you unmute her, or can she unmute herself?
Yeah, she can just unmute herself.
Okay, hi. God bless everyone. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Oh, great. I want to say hello to everyone. And my question to Dr. Paul is, what can we use that's all natural for deer ticks and especially mosquitoes? Please, they're trying to eat me up, those mosquitoes.
Please help me.
I need help.
Estelle, those bugs know a good thing when they see it, so don't even start.
Yeah.
That's why they're after you.
So let me guess the one that's really hard. I'm gonna put you on mute, okay? I'm gonna put you on mute so we can hear. Okay. Let me tell you about ticks, because you got to worry about ticks when you're out and about because of this thing called Lyme disease.
Mhm.
But if everyone were to attach to you, never do what? Never try to pull them off.
Pull them out. That's right.
Right? Because they could inject poison in you. So never pull them off. What you want to do is understand that ticks have a very interesting way of breathing. They breathe from their back.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know this.
Yes.
So if you ever wanted to get a tick off of you, you would put a oil on their back.
Back. Yes.
And literally, they're suffocating. They're gonna let go now. They're gonna They're gonna come right on off real easy because they breathe from their back. Got it? So if you ever have a tick, or if it's ever been on like a dog or something like that, you would just take a oil. The one that I highly recommend, which can also be used for insects, like mosquitoes, would be neem oil. Now you can dissipate it a little bit because it does have an odor to it. So you can mix it with something like a lavender oil, neem oil, and some water. And that usually, if you shake that, you can make a good insecticide that actually is good, because you know neem is one of the #1 parasite formulas that's used, and it's also used for in India as one of the #1 pesticides for many generations. That's all they ever used was neem. So neem, NEEM, is what I would use.
So,
Now, yeah,
I'm sorry.
but I just had one more comment there.
Mhm.
Make sure, remember, what attracts mosquitoes to you. That's probably even more important. What is attracting mosquitoes to you?
Sugar.
That is sugar.
Yes.
Sugar.
That's why I said what I said. That Margaret's sister. They know what they were after.
So, Dr. Paul, though, so I get I get that part of it, but is there anything that we can use to like make the mosquitoes not want to attack us? Like, is there anything we can use to, like, I know there's people that use, what's that stuff that Avon came out with?
Yep.
That's one, but is there anything else that we can naturally use to kind of deter them from attacking us in the first place?
Sure, all of the oils, the thieves oil. You remember the thieves oil that we talked about?
I have thieves oil, and I do put it on, and they seem to not like it. That is a good suggestion. Thank you for reminding me.
Thieves oil has all of those all the above. Bacterial, viral, fungal, septic, and parasitic. So it has the ability to project. They don't like that. They don't like those strong odors, the eucalyptus and things like that. It causes problems. It gets all over them like a gook. You remember I told you that it sort of covers their ability, it stops them from breathing, and it causes problems. That's why when they put it on the neem and things like that on plants, they can't work that plant no more. So that's why it was a good deterrent for insects and things. So any of the oils would be good. Mhm.
It's peppermint, so peppermint would be another oil
Yep.
that's really good. Okay.
Matter of fact, peppermint is very good for mice. If you have mice in your home, peppermint keeps mice away.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. You can just put peppermint in your corners. You know, peppermint oil is very good. If you got a mice or pest issue, usually if you got a pest issue with mice, that means you got a hole somewhere.
Well, so true, so true.
Got a hole somewhere, so you gotta fill a hole. So until you get the hole, fill the hole, you can use the little peppermint oil. Yeah, that's good.
And Dr. Paul, the last thing I have is I kind of have somewhat of a testimony. I went to my dentist last week to get my teeth cleaned. Seemed like every time I go, they have something else they want me to pay for that my insurance doesn't cover. So I have periodontal disease. So there was one tooth that they told me where, you know, there was like a pocket, and the dental hygienist says, we want to give you an antibiotic and we can shoot it right into your gum, into the area that, you know, I cannot reach by cleaning, by deep cleaning. So I was like, can you check to make sure my insurance covers it? And they came back with, no, your insurance doesn't cover it. And it was only going to cost me $50. I was like, well, what are the side effects of this antibiotic that you want to shoot into my, you know, to my mouth? And she was like, well, we have a brochure and you can take a look at it. So she handed me this brochure.
Yes.
And then right on the front, I started reading what the different side effects were. And I immediately said, well, you know what? I want to talk to one of my doctors first before you do anything like this. And when my next visit, if I decide to get it, I'll let you know then. So normally I probably, if I had not been, you know, listening to you, Dr. Paul, for the last several months, probably for like a year now, I've been listening to you on the radio and now with the Zoom, I probably would have just said, oh, sure, go ahead. And I'm like, no. So that is my testimony that I was like, normally I would have just gone along. I'm like, no, antibiotics shooting into my body is like poison. I'm like, no way. So.
Yeah, that's right. You got to ask questions.
Knowledge.
You know, if you don't ask questions, and you have the right to ask questions, and if you still don't feel that your question is answered, by all means, you know, you have a right to say no, thank you, and move on. And sometimes, I mean, it becomes a challenge. I remember my son one time was they were telling him he had to have braces, and they told him all this stuff, and I would just look at him and like, no, he doesn't. He does not. You know, you got to prove to me that he needs this. And one time they came to and said, oh yeah, well, he has to have he has a cavity and it has to be filled, and it has these problems. And then you know how they're very small, and when they're very young, these teeth are going to be gone anyway. So right, so I said, okay, well, what is in what you put inside what creates the cavity? What are you putting into the cavity? And they said, oh, well, we never had nobody ask us that. So let me go back in the back. So they go back and they take about a good 30 minutes before they come back out, and they give me a photocopy of a document. And they said, here's the information on what we would be doing for your son. So I look at the document, and always, family, look for the resources for where it comes. I looked at the bottom, and it said, study done in 1984.
Oh, Lord.
I looked at it and I said, really? You're going to give me a document that tells me that this was done in 1984? Do you have anything like recent? And she couldn't say anything. She couldn't say anything.
Said no.
I mean, so right then I said, no, thank you. Quiet kept moving forward. He never needed any of that. He never needed that. He has not to this day have a cavity.
Wow.
You know, never
Great.
had any problem with that. They told him he would need braces. You don't need braces. All that stuff is shifting around. Children's bodies will move at their own rate. And sometimes everybody's body doesn't move at the same time. So he just had a little bit of time. 1, 2, took a little while to come through, but it came through. And that's all we can say. So everything model does not fit everybody. That's why you gotta ask a question. Got it? Good
Got
stuff,
it.
Margaret. Good
Thank you so
stuff.
much, Dr. Paul.
That's right. You asked that question. You go now. That's great. I love
All
it.
right. Okay.
Don't forget oil pulling for the pockets and the gums.
Yes.
Oh, yes, thank you. I do at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. I have my sesame oil. And I'm hoping that when I go back in 3 months, that they'll see some kind of improvement. And of course, drinking the good water. So
Yeah.
yes, this has been very helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Margaret. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for contributing. All right. That was good information. If y'all are looking at my screen and you see something flying across me, I got a SU fly that just want to be on Zoom tonight.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Stop this. Just SU fly. coming by.
Hello, Doc.
Yes. So let me go and who else do we have here?
Well, have nothing else over here. So if you have a hand up over there, go for it, Dr. Hall.
Okay.
Hello, Doc.
No, I do. I had something. Bill, I put it in your chat box.
Okay. Which one?
Let me go back. It was from Erica. She said, hello, what is recommendation for eczema, psoriasis?
Oh, yes, I see it.
I can't pronounce that, SEBOR.
Seborrheic dermatitis.
Seborrheic dermatitis in hair that's inflamed. For gut cleaning, a blood cleanse, or a liver cleanse, what should I start? What should I start first? I get a lot of flare-ups during the summer months, and this is ruining and causing anxiety and stress. Help. What should I do?
Yeah. That goes back to our formula for skin. Remember though, whenever there's eruption in the skin, that's going to be always what? Liver. You got to put blood. Got it? So yes, blood, liver, that is correct. Any of the blood cleansers, clean the blood, you clean also the skin. At the same time, you would do topical. Got it? Topical would be things like, we say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Aloe vera gel, coconut oil. Got it? You can also, if you have a bump, blister, or boil that has to come out, there is something that you can use, which we call Dr. Christopher's black ointment.
Right.
And we've talked about that several times. But if you have just as eczema that covers a range where you just want to get, like a moisturizer, you would use like the aloe vera gel, coconut oil, lavender oil. Right? Those are the 3 I would use. And based on whatever it is that you're experiencing, if it's a lot of inflammation, sometimes I would add a little tea tree oil with that.
That's tea tree oil, right?
Tea tree oil, yeah.
Tea tree. Okay.
If you believe that it's parasitic, write that down in addition. If you believe that it's parasitic, I would add the black walnut. Okay? The black walnut is an anti-parasitic, and also the coconut oil is parasitic. Make sure the coconut oil is not hydrogenated. Got it? No hydrogenated. And I mean, be very careful because it'll say organic and it'll say unrefined. But if you're not watching carefully, it may say hydrogenated, which remember, we don't want any hydrogenization. Got it? No hydrogenization means that they are refining. It's a form of refining, which can actually block your pores. Got it? Block your pores. So we want unrefined, organic, and that is non-hydrogenated coconut oil. Got it? Okay. All right, good stuff. All right, we got Helen up there. Helen?
How are you, Dr. Paul? How you doing, Bill? How's
Hey,
everyone
Helen, how
doing
are you?
tonight?
Hey,
All
first
right.
of all, let's give Helen a hand. She just turned a big 5-0. Let's give
That's
her a
right.
hand. Happy
Oh,
birthday.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Tell
everybody.
us who you.
Yes, that's tomorrow. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
happy birthday to you.
thank you so much.
You're
So I have
gonna
a question.
sing happy birthday
Um,
to you before you leave. Okay. Go ahead.
yes. So at the time, the Wayne Health Store did not have the beta carotene, so I ended up getting vitamin A, and I know the beta carotene would break down into A. So how much should I take? It's like 7,500 mcgs
MCGs.
to help build up my immune system and
Sure.
white blood cells.
Right. So you're looking at you got to do the math. You're looking at somewhere around vitamin A would be around. It's based on where you're ballpark. If we're trying to just keep your immune system dealing with COVID-19, you want to be around 200,000 IUs. So you got to do the math between the micrograms versus IUs. So you're looking at around 200,000 IUs. And remember, vitamin A is actually better than the beta carotene. I would say the vitamin A, you're doing better. The beta carotene, remember, has to be converted by the liver.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if you got vitamin A, you're doing better.
Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
Yeah, well,
right.
that was basically all my questions for tonight. It was just that. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You have a good night. God bless.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Take care.
Okay.
Who else we got here? We got
What herbs can you use for glaucoma, Dr. Paul?
You got a question, Big B?
Yeah. What herbs would be good for glaucoma?
Glaucoma. Remember, pressure in the eye. Usually issues with glaucoma have already been a problem systemically in the body somewhere else. Remember, the cranial arteries in the eyes are very thin. They're very thin. So when you have blockage or vascular issues where you're having too much refined sugar, refined salt, refined oil, y'all must think I sound like a broken record, don't y'all?
Sometimes that's okay. Knock it out.
Refined oil is going to pull the moisture out of your body and your vessels and your arteries. So it's going to make them thinner. So now the first place usually you see it is in your eyes. So now the eyes can't detox. Now they fill up and start to back up. Now you got cataracts. Now when the cataracts, which is mucus builds up, you may get that drained out, but eventually it's going to create pressure. Glaucoma, that's where it happens. Usually one causes the other. So remember, we got to release the pressure in the eye, but you got to lower the blood pressure. Make sure there's no pressure issues. And if so, you remember when your eyes are tearing or when you wake up in the morning and you see that crunchy stuff in your eyes, that's your eyes detoxing. Said Sandman, right? You see Sandman, that's the eyes clearing out. But if you don't see that, then where is it going? It's backing up in the eye. So Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula is one. We have the herb, which is the Eye Bright herb. But there's a blood pressure. We got to get the pressure right, or a vascular issue going on also. Did they ever say anything else on that question, Big B?
No, that was it. That was it.
So we have to address the issue. The overall issue is they're vascular. They're getting hardening of the arteries. Got it? They're blocking it. So we got to clear those out. Okay. Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula. And also you got to start to, I would also wash the eye out. Use an eye wash glass with it. There's a protocol that we used to have. We posted several times. So there's a protocol with the Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula. Okay.
Okay, so it's on you now, on your side.
Okay, let's see. I have, and let's see here. Who else is here? I guess someone dropped their hand. We have Melody. Melody?
Hi, Dr. Paul. I'm still
Hey,
here.
how you doing?
Okay.
I'm all right. I'm a little discouraged with the whole news and information that's going around in regards to like the people that haven't had vaccines. So I guess Biden is supposed to be mandating that I'm a federal employee. So I'm a little concerned that now there might be some regulation that federal employees will have to take the vaccine. I'm a Christian, and I know Pastor Waller recently mentioned about like churches not being able to support the whole signing off on believers not wanting to take vaccines because it's in the Bible. So I'm like, what am I going to do if I don't want to take the vaccine?
Well, remember, yeah, churches should not be. That's a personal choice. It should never be a church because it's your personal choice. Remember, when you start to do what's called exemption, religious exemption, that's based off of your personal exemption. Nobody has to sign off of that. You got
Okay.
it? So that
Okay.
means, remember, the whole concept goes back to the United Nations, being that if you break the skin, you defile the temple. That's it. So, you come up when you do what's called declare your position. You just declare your position. That's like you eating food. Nobody tells you what to eat in your food, right?
Right.
So you have a right to say, hey, I don't want that. And here's my choice. So here's my document. And it shows that this is why I do that. Now, your exemption is for strong religious conviction. They'll use religion as your point, but your religion is what you believe in. That's their definition. That's what their definition is. So what you would do is declare your position. Now, they did say also that a lot of them, they'll say it in light terms, almost like you don't catch it. But if you declare your exemption, you just declare for a religious exemption, you just give them a document saying that I choose to do this. Now, they will maybe make you susceptible to certain protocols, which means you may have to get tested every week.
Every week, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
Cool with that. So that's basically, remember, you have to declare your position, I mean, you have to give them something.
So how do I formally do that? So that like when I go to my next doctor's appointment, and if my job asks for it, is there something specific that I need to write up to put on file somewhere?
Here's what you usually do. Usually what happens is if you declare your position, there's a website that you can go to see sample breakdowns. Got it? And you basically would write a document up, you present it to them, and then they're going to give you, in most cases, all hospitals do it, everybody has their own form. And they're going to give you their form, and they're going to say, well, you're going to have to fill our form out. And then that form goes in attached with your form. And that's usually where it goes through a process of asking you questions. And it happens. I've been doing this for years. I've been helping people with this process, and all you have to do is just declare your position. Got it?
Okay.
But really, that's all you have to do. And that's all it was ever said to do. If you were connected to the United Nations, then you had the rights of refusal for any medical procedure. That was it. That's how the people who implemented this at the UN was called the Sanitary Act. That means that they said that's a discrimination if you can't, people have religious understanding and philosophies and beliefs that if you put something break my skin, I could get infected. So you can't tell me to do this against my will. So here I'm exempting, opting out. Got it?
So does that, when I say that, so that doesn't mean like I can't get blood work done, right? If I need blood work, because isn't that breaking my skin too? Like when they take blood from me?
That is breaking your skin, but in this case, you're taking out, not putting in. You got it? You're breaking where you're now injecting something in your blood. That's something totally different. If it was life and
Okay,
death.
I just wanted to make sure that I wouldn't be like putting myself in a position where they're like, well, you said you declared you didn't want to break your skin, so now we hand draw your blood for something. So I just wanted to be clear.
Out, you're not putting in, and which means that if you
Okay, that makes sense.
if you have something that's like life and death, and it has to be done on that level where it determines your life and death, that's something totally different. If you were in an accident or something, God forbid, then that's what you would do. But when you have the choice now to make your choice, and you chose to do that, you just declare your position. Nobody signs that for you. You sign that. Got it? No one signs that. That's a personal choice. That's a personal choice. Got it? Go to
Okay. Yeah.
BACLIB.org. That's the website. BACLIB.org.
It's in the chat, Dr. Paul.
Right? And that will give you an idea per state of how you would put it together. Got it? And that's basically it. You declare your position. And it's happening with everyone has it. Even the schools have it. All the universities have it. You know, that's what normal. But it's not going to be promoted, of course.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Melanie. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, let's see. We got K51. Dolores?
8:58.
K51.
Oh my gosh. It's 8:58, Dr. Paul.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna take
Okay.
only because I went long today and we got all mixed up. Today.
That was-
And then
Hi, Dr.
I got a pesky fly that want to be on Zoom tonight.
Hi, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, Dolores, go ahead.
Dr. Paul, I wanted to ask you about the Lambert variant that they're talking about.
Lambda, the Lambda variant.
Yeah, Lambda.
Yeah. Lambda is coming out of Peru. That's what's happening. It's coming out of Peru. It's just, again, variants that they're taking as they come up. They're basing it where it comes from, and they're basing it off the Greek alphabet.
Okay.
So this variant is very low right now, but it is something that we have to keep an eye on, because here it is. The reason why they have to keep watch on it, because if that's another variant, that's a variant that they haven't put, an understanding to when they make up the vaccine. You got it? So they're like, wait a minute, if the variant of Lambda starts to increase, you're gonna need another booster. Got it? That's what they're saying. So that's why they're watching it right now.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Paul.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right. And I think one more, and that's Cecilia.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, Celia.
Hi, everyone. I have a quick question, and you kind of answered it already about the boils coming out of your skin. I have one like under my arm right now, but I don't have any Dr. Christopher's black ointment. So will the what's that stuff called? Will the comfrey tea and the cheesecloth work?
Yeah, comfrey tea does do what's for the skin and the liver and the skin. It does help. But if you have something like an alternative that we would use would be black walnut and golden seal. Okay, what you would do? Do you have any of that, by the way?
I have golden seal capsules.
Yeah, you can take the golden seal, because the golden seal has an astringent property also.
Okay.
And the golden seal can be put in like a paste, right? And like you have it in powder, like in a capsule, or just like a regular powder?
The capsules.
Okay, so break open like 2 capsules in a plate. Then you put a little water with it, make a paste out of it. You can take a non-latex glove and then take that and push it onto that area with the boils. Now, I do recommend you go over, we did about a week ago, the lymphatic detox massage. Okay, do you know about that?
Yes.
Okay, I would go through that process because you got to open up the gate to allow that stuff to get out.
Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
what it has to do. You got to push it out. So things like that will actually, you notice that the boil will start to lower, and it may even bust. Okay, so you can cover it with a Band-Aid or so.
Mm-hmm.
After you cover it with the golden steel, you can put a Band-Aid over it, and in preparation to know that it's going to eventually, it's going to open up, it's going to burst. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what you
Dr.
want?
Paul, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, that's fine. I was done.
No, in reference to her question, you said did you say non-latex or latex glove?
Non-latex.
That's what, okay.
Non-latex. Yeah. All right. All right, family. I think that's it, Big B.
Yes, sir, buddy.
We got all the questions today. Anyone on the chat? I just want to make sure.
No, that's it. You hit everything.
All right, that was a good one. That was a good one, family. And hopefully we got those.
Wear your mask. Just wear your mask.
Amen, Joseph. I got you, buddy.
Right,
We did it for a year. We made it through. We keep wearing the mask.
Oh, Dr. Paul.
We never took our foot off the throttle, man. You gotta wear the mask, family. Yes.
Oh, Dr. Paul.
Tony, yeah, go ahead, Tony.
My wife got a question.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
I have a little testimony, short testimony. Yesterday, me and my husband came to you, and we had the works a couple of months ago, and we did what you told us to do. And when we came back, the things that you told us to do, everything was cleared up. So I felt so good.
All
So
right,
I just
now.
want to thank God for
Yes,
you.
yes,
I
yes.
tell you are great. Thank God for you. Yeah, and I'm feeling like 100% better. So I thank
right.
God for that through you using you. And what I have a question about the blood cleanser, about what's that, red clover. How often would you take that if you want to clean your blood?
Well, red clover, you would just take it by capsule as recommended on the bottle. That's what I would do. Because remember, red clover is one of those herbs that when they study this, every major university in the United States studied red clover. Ain't that deep? That should tell you something right there. That means that when they did the research, red clover has the ability to go into the body looking for the bad guy. I mean, you mad?
I
You're
know
mad.
that's right.
He go in there and say, "Where is he?"
Well.
Cancer scavenger. They named the cancer scavenger. It goes and looks for bad stuff like cancer to start cleaning it up, and it stops the replication factor for it. So you take it just as a regular dosage, as a capsule, as recommended on the bottle. Okay.
Okay. What about the tea bags? How?
Well, if you're taking it with the tea, I mean, just once a day is fine. Just once a day is yeah.
Okay.
Usually, whenever you're trying teas out, we try to say, it may say once or twice a day. So that would be in the morning and in the evening, right after you eat. Like
Okay.
that.
All right. Would it be like 1 month, or you take it all the time?
Well, I think a good detox for that would be about a month.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul, and keep doing what you're doing. God bless you.
Yeah, you keep doing what you're doing also, y'all. That's the shot right there. When you come out feeling good, and her numbers and Tony's numbers were out of sight yesterday. I'm so proud of both of you, because when you turn the boat around, you now become a testimony to somebody else. And ain't nobody can do nothing about that. And they can't say anything about it because you become the testimony that so many people will see. So God bless y'all, right?
Thank you.
Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
One more thing. I know you said that if you declare your position for not taking the vaccine and they test, they're going to start testing every week. That means they will be drawing blood.
No. They would do a test to see. It would be COVID test. They do COVID tests, and the best of the test to do would not be the swab, which was either in the jaw or up the nose, but when that you actually give saliva to. That would be the better of the tests.
Saliva, right?
Saliva. So some of the universities, which understand exactly what I'm telling you, this is something that's just never discussed. They know that some people with their religious beliefs, you can't poke, jab, stick nothing up their nose, stick nothing in their mouth. You're still you're defiling certain religions and certain ways in which they deal with their body. You know, just like you can't, you know, when you do certain customs and things. So that was always understood. So that's why some of the universities now, with their testing, you provide something for them, which is you provide saliva for them. And then from that, then they can test you. Yeah. That's the better of the test.
So you give them saliva.
If you're getting tested, there's a test where you just provide saliva for them.
Okay.
And it'll be like,
No. Well, nobody ain't gonna stick nothing in my nose no more. He said do the saliva test. He said don't let nobody stick nothing up. He said don't stick nothing up. You know, I had that COVID test done once. That they stuck that thing on my nose, but I said I was gonna never have that done again.
Yeah. So that's usually when, you know, the safer of the one is the one that you provide saliva for them. You know, you can always provide for someone, just like
right, and not say nothing. Yeah, like you say, it probably scratch your sign, you know, your membranes up in there or something. You know, it could.
You don't know who's scraping up there. That's right.
Well,
so
no, that's right.
The brain.
Oh.
All right. Okay, we're about to go, family. So
thank you.
Thank you so much, family. It has truly been a pleasure.
Yes.
This
was a deep lesson tonight, Dr. Paul.
I'm not they're not sticking nothing else in my nose. That was just at one time.
All right.
God bless you. Thank you for everything. Love you.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you also. All right, Big B, take it away there, buddy.
Yeah, man. Listen, guys, this was a heavy one tonight. This was deep, 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 deep. So listen, I just want to say always, just say thank you for joining us each and every Wednesday night here on the Family Tree, and the recognition that you guys continue to donate and to make sure that we stay here. And as always, keep bringing the family and all that you share with us donation wise. We make sure that it all comes back in so that we continue to keep this thing going. Because you know I do all my best to get all the chat out and the videos up and ready by Thursday at the latest on Friday. So of course, if you want a copy of tonight's chat, you send that to meccavideo@gmail.com. That's MECCAVIDEO@gmail.com. Now, for the support through Dr. Paul's Cash App, you want to send that to $, capital DR, capital PAUL, capital HOP, Dr. Paul Hop. Okay. And hey, guys, make it work. And we'll see you again next Wednesday night. God bless.
All right, family. Thank you so much. I don't have no music this week because
man.
Big gets the music, man. So
Man, look, hey, listen, while we was doing it a while ago, my wife came here and snatched my other computer. We all in bad shape.
I got music.
Oh boy. But hey, look, it's gonna work, guys. It's gonna work all right.
Yes. Hey, I got a song. I want to sing a song. How about that?
Oh, look out now.
All right.
Sing,
Go ahead, Dr. Paul. Go ahead, Dr. Paul.
Your thing. Sing your song. Sing your song.
We'll sing along.
Wow.
Y'all hear me? Be thankful. Y'all remember that song back in the day? It said, "Though you may not drive."
Look, boy, dark.
Gangsta white walls.
Gangsta white walls. TV antennas in the back.
You may not
Oh, you can sing, huh?
Boy, look out, y'all.
All right now.
You're gonna be screaming in a second.
Brothers and sisters, you can feel.
Here we go. Here we go, Dr. P. There you go.
just be thankful.
For
Come
what
on.
you got.
Though you may not drive
Well,
a
well.
racing Cadillac.
Driving in the back, some new tap. Even with the gangster.
Digging the scene
Whoa.
with the gang.
Check. Hey, Margaret, check out his lane. Bam.
A doctor, everything.
Doc, that's good. You got another calling. You got a calling, Doc.
Hit that high note.
You're gonna fool around and drop the mic in about 30 seconds. Oh my. Oh, help us, y'all. Uh-oh, look out.
Just a late. Ooh, ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I can't stand it.
Diving in the back.
Uh-oh.
Digging with the gangster lean.
Now, y'all, I'm gonna leave that alone myself.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Oh,
look at
Yeah,
her.
he got it. Ooh, look out. Hey, look out, y'all. Oh, hey. Well.
Remember, brothers and sisters, we can still
stand tall.
Well.
In the back, sun top, digging the scene with the gangster lean.
All right, man.
Oh, that's it. That's all I got.
All right,
Let's
do some Earth, Wind, and Fire.
God
bless.
Let's do some Earth, Wind, and Fire now. Come on.
Next week we'll have some music.
Next week, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Good or bad or happy or sad.
Okay, go ahead, y'all.
All right, y'all. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all.
God bless you too.
God bless you all.
God bless you, Dr. Paul.
Good night.
Family tree.
Good night, John.
Good night.
Good night, John boy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, family.
Good night.
All right.
Good night, Irene.
Also, Prophetess, she already on her next Zoom call, so I'll see her later. All right, y'all be good.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks a lot. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.